When things go poorly, people tend to flock into gold. That quote has been ringing true for years, for decades, for centuries. Many people have used gold as a hedge, as a safe haven, as a way to protect their wealth against coming financial turmoil. It has been happening for a very long time, and many people have been saying, and certainly market analysts have been saying, that we are headed into a recession right now. What does that mean for gold? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today with our guest. Our guest today is Shane Williams. Now, he is the CEO of West Red Lake Gold, and he has been in this industry for a very long time. This is a sponsored interview, but this first half of this interview, before we even talk about his company, is 100% about that, about gold, about inflation, about a recession, and I want to see what he has to say, and I'm sure you do as well. So I hope you stick with us and enjoy my conversation with Shane, and let's welcome Shane into the channel. Shane, how are you today?
I'm good. Great to be on.
Awesome.
For your viewers.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. And I want to get started off, before we get into your company, I want to get started off talking a little bit about the gold market. Today we've actually seen, I don't know if you've been watching the numbers today, but today we've actually seen a little bit of a spike. Can you tell me what's going on, not just today, but in the last, couple of months with gold? It seems like it's kind of hitting in around that 1900 range, but not quite wanting to cross over into that USD. It was almost at its USD highest level in a while. It's like 10% off of it, but in a lot of other currencies, it's well above that. So why is it, kind of struggling against the dollar?
Yeah, look, I think as your viewers might know, over the last number of years during COVID and everything, there was just a flood of money put into the system, and that has created inflation. Gold is normally a hedge to that inflation, and so with the rising of the interest rates, there's a bit of a headwind for gold. And so, but some of your viewers need to understand that, the rate of interest rates rise have been at an all-time record. We've never had interest rates rise so fast, so quickly. And again, gold is really holding up against them. It hasn't really gone down. It's held its value. It hasn't gone to the heights we all hope and believe it will, but it has held its value very good against those very high interest rates. So, normally it should be an inverse of interest rates, but it has held its value. And also because and I'm at a mining conference here, we are beginning to see a lot of interest in gold now as there's talks of a Fed pivot. We're talking about a slowdown. We're talking about recession. There's a lot of those talks around. And so that's always a good sign for gold. And I can see green shoots, let's just say green shoots in the price of gold. And as it's beginning to come around, and we believe that over the balance of this year and into next year, gold would have a very, very good run. That's our kind of synopsis.
So you talked about gold pivoting, or I'm sorry, you talked about them pivoting on interest rates. My apologies. Yet the new CPI just came out and it's actually higher than it was last month. Do you think the Fed is still going to slow down, or are they going to just keep pushing those numbers higher?
I think they will keep pushing the numbers a little bit higher. But because they've gone so high so quickly, the lag effect takes a long time to get into the system. They've raised it very quickly. Now, because of the lag effect and the rollover of debt, etc., people are now beginning to feel the effect of those interest rates. So it was kind of a delayed effect. And as they raise them, we believe that over the balance of the year, if they raise them higher, something is going to break, something is going to happen, and that will trigger a response, as it always does, that the Fed will if it's a recession, if it's some of the big banks, if it's something, that will force the Fed to relook at it. Maybe not, they'll probably pause first, assess it, and then there'll be a potential pivot. That's what we believe. Timing, not really sure on timing, but it is going to happen. It always has. So we believe that that's the case going forward, the price for gold.
Okay. Do you think if they keep pushing the interest rates higher that we are going to see a recession? I mean, are we getting to that point?
I do believe we are. There's a lot of macro challenges in the economy now. We're beginning to see slowly. And I believe there will be a recession there. A lot of the big companies have come out with low earnings and low forecasts because they're seeing it already in their demand for goods. And you have oil prices going very high again. That causes a lot of people to pull back, things to slow down. So I do believe we will see a recession probably into next year.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's very good for gold as we get into. People run to safety for sure.
I definitely agree. And when we look at inflation numbers and you talk about oil prices going higher, it doesn't just seem like it's oil prices. I mean, other energy sectors as well, but I mean, just also food and housing. It's it seems like it's been a nightmare for the majority of Americans lately. And I actually am friends with a painter. I'll share this with you. Who said in this economy his business is almost completely floored. Like he's getting almost no calls. He's basically out of work half of the time. And I think it's not just big business. You said big business came out with low earning reports, but I think small time America, your small businesses, which run a huge portion of America's economy, are also struggling. Would you agree?
Yeah, I feel sorry for normal people in the US, because remember, over the last number of years, we've had very, very low interest rates. So a lot of them took on debt, remortgaged at the low financing. And over the last number of months, that has got higher and higher. So as that debt rolls over, consumers in the US are feeling, and small businesses, because of that, because consumers are pulling back, small businesses are seeing that, and that's flowing through the economy. And it's only a matter of time before that affects the whole economy. And we'll start to see that, I would say, towards the back end of this year into next year.
So going into this economy, the Fed continues to raise interest rates. You had already said that you feel if they keep pushing, we're going to see a recession. What does that mean for gold and even other precious metals like silver, platinum, going into the next year or two? I mean, I don't want you to predict the spot price because we don't do predictions here, but just in general, where do you think, is that going to really start to push gold over that threshold?
Yeah, gold is always a hedge to safety. When things begin to go wrong, people flock into gold. And I do believe you will see a lot of people turn around towards the gold market. There's a statistic that's out there. Historically, gold has been 5% of the overall portfolio. It's down now to 1%. And that swage of money, if it moves back to mean, not even go higher, just back to mean, that's a huge inflow of money into gold EFTs, into the gold price, into silver, into platinum. We believe that that's going to drive a price much, much higher from where we are today. And long term, stay higher for the next number of years.
That's an angle that no one's ever presented to me, talking about how it used to be 5% of a portfolio, and now it's down to 1%. And you're right. If that money swung back right into gold, that would be an interesting result.
And the gold market is so small. The gold market, and particularly the miners, is so small that the EFTs will grow. People will move in, and they'll get the miners, and you'll see a huge surge of money. And that's what happened before. It will happen again. People will and it doesn't even need a huge gold price. It just needs reverting to mean. Just revert to mean. That's all. And the volume of money pulling into gold and silver will grow.
Absolutely. And you brought up miners, so that's a great segue into what I wanted to talk about next. So West Red Lake Gold, tell me a little bit about that project and your involvement in it and how it got started.
Yeah, so West Red Lake is a developer in the Red Lake region of Canada. I'm not sure how many viewers know the Red Lake region of Canada, but it's one of the most prolific mining regions in Canada. 40 million ounces has been produced of that all throughout the last number of years. And so we wanted to set up a company to get into that region. It's high-grade gold systems, and they go very, very deep. It's a perfect opportunity to grow a company. So from West Red Lake, we originally acquired a project called our Matson property, which was an early exploration project. And from there, we came across a project called Matson property, and we ended up doing a deal to take over the Matson mine. It's a fully operational mine. It had some challenges. It went into care and maintenance. We managed to secure a great deal to buy that mine.
Is there a lot of gold resources expected to be coming out of that mine?
Yeah, the resources at the present are already in place. Ounces of resources are inferred and indicated. It has underground development. It has a mill in place. So there's a lot of the infrastructure needed to quickly turn around the project back into production.
Gotcha. So what's your involvement with West Red Lake? And then give me a little bit of your background onto other projects that you may have done that would, give you a good foothold into this project.
Yeah, I just talk about a little bit about the background as well, history. So I worked with a company called Skeena Resources that was very successful. We ended up taking a number of projects, the main project being the Eskay Creek project, which is very, very successful. Yeah, we brought that all the way through. I was the chief operating officer. Prior to that, I was with a company called Eldorado Gold. Eldorado is a mid-tier producer in Canada, valued at about $2 billion. I ended up building and operating their mines around the world. I worked in Turkey. I worked in Greece. And our recent one was the Lamac project in Val d'Or. And this is a restart, very similar to what we're going to plan to do to Madsen. And we got it into production from early stage in 18 months. So that shows my very technical background.
Okay.
And so when we were putting together these projects, I got involved and I did a lot of due diligence on the project because previous owners had some challenges. So we wanted to understand those. We went in and did some due diligence. We liked what we saw. And we ended up doing a good, very, very good deal on the project. And then I stepped into the role as CEO. And we built a very good team around us. And now we're moving forward on the project.
Now, is production already, you're not into production yet. You're not actually pulling gold out of the mine yet, though, right?
No, we're not into production. The mine was in production. The mine was into production already, but they had some challenges in the project and the operation. And so they went into care and maintenance. They shut down. So it's an easy restart for us. But at the moment, we're not in production.
How long do you think until production is restarted?
Probably 15 to 18 months.
Okay.
Sort of thing. We need to go back in. We need to do some renovations. We need some underground drilling. We need to reset a little bit and then get back into production.
Now, do you have targets for production once you're actually there? How much you'll be pulling out of the mine?
Yeah, probably somewhere in the region of 100 to 125,000 ounces a year.
Okay. So that's wow. How long will it take you to get to that point? Like you're not going to be able to pull 125 out right at the beginning of production, right? It'll take you a little bit to ramp up.
Yeah, we'll take a little bit to ramp up. And we also have a satellite deposit called Rowan. So the opportunity is to bring the satellite deposit into the main mill and have two sources of feed production. And so our plan is to start at maybe 70,000 ounces, sort of a range, and then grow that upwards to 100, 120,000 ounces a year.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So look, do me a favor. Tell me and tell the viewers that are watching, what makes West Red Lake a good company to place some bets on, for the next couple of years?
So firstly, I'll just start off about company in Canada is valued at, there's a producing that sort of range, 100 to 125,000 ounces a year. There's a current company called Wesdome Mining. It produces that. It's valued at $1 billion today with cash flow. And so we're valued at around 100 million Canadian. So that gives you, in a short period of time, the potential upside of this company. And also we're backed by somebody your viewers might know, Frank Giustra. He was involved in building Goldcorp with Wheaton River and into Goldcorp. And that company went to $10 billion over a 3 to 5 year period. So this gives you we're ambitious to do the Madsen project and grow from there and become a big mining company. So that gives, as well as the gold price rising, it gives viewers with that leverage to gold price. So, gold will increase, but we will grow as well at the same time. So you have growth in the gold price, which gives a lot of leverage to your viewers as part of that. And now is the time to get in there as investors and come on the journey as we grow over the next number of years.
So I'm going to know the answer to this next question, but do you think that currently the West Red Lake gold price is attractive compared to other gold mining companies?
It's very attractive because we have a lot of the key components that you need to build a company. We have a project and operation ready to go. We've put in a great management team. We've put in a board that's very, very experienced, has done this before, and we've built our own team around it. So they're key elements of what you need to grow a big company. You need the asset, you need people, you need the teams, and we have all that. And we're probably the best team in the junior mining space. So I believe we are probably the best investment out there when you look at risk and reward. We've put in a board so your viewers can understand what we're potential. So we put in a board of directors. On our board of directors, we have a board member called Tony McCooch, who built Kirkland Lake Gold. So, and another board member is Duncan Middlemass, who built Wesdome Mining. So these are very senior executives, have built large gold mining companies, so they have the support, and we've built underneath a management team that's very, very strong, all technically oriented, and have worked in big projects. So I think we have a great team. We have the backers of the Frank Giustra and the team, and so we have the backers, the team. I think we're a perfect match for your subscribers to follow the journey and get involved and become shareholders.
All right, Shane. So that's awesome. And I really look forward to watching West Red Lake over the next couple of years. So I will definitely be following along, as I'm sure many of my viewers will as well. Guys, I appreciate having Shane on, and I'm going to put all the information for his company and for the mine down below in the description. So make sure you go down there and check them out. And Shane, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great to be on. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, well, it was definitely great to talk with Shane, and he had a lot of great information for us, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. As far as his company is concerned, guys, keep in mind that whenever you're investing in any sort of stock, whether it be a mining stock or any other stock market, you always have the opportunity to make money, but additionally, you have the chance of it going to completely zero. Unlike stacking physical gold and silver, there is a chance that if you invest in West Red Lake Gold or other gold mines, you lose all of your money. So whenever you invest in stocks like this, make sure you understand that you are assuming a risk with the potential for a very high reward on the other side. Myself personally, I do invest in mining stocks like this one, but it's a very minuscule, a very small amount of my portfolio. The majority of what I like to put my money in is physical gold and silver and other physical assets, as you guys are well aware. So if you guys are interested, again, I will put the information in the description below. And it was a pleasure to have Shane on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and have a great rest of your day.